Hi, this is Barry here, and you're very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is entitled What You Can Learn from a Magnifying Glass. Now, at the moment, we are just heading into the first day of February, and for a lot of people, all those New Year's resolutions that they made on New Year's Eve are probably long gone and buried in the dust. You know, they're like that exercise bicycle that just got bought, and at this stage now it's just turned into a clothes horse, or, you know, all the tracksuits and all the stuff is packed away, maybe the summer holidays or something come up, and then somebody has to go on a mad crash diet or something to try and fit into the bikini or look well and have that perfect beach bod that they're looking for. But for the majority of people, all those kind of resolutions and all are just completely gone. So this podcast episode, the idea behind it actually came about from something I had listened to recently by Matt Fury. And Matt Fury was speaking about when it comes to people having goals, that rather than actually having maybe a goal to earn maybe £10,000 a month, and maybe to lose maybe 3 stone, and maybe to be a better parent, instead of having all those kind of, goals, trying to do them all at the same time, because if you look at it, your energy is kind of spread between the three. You're never really 100% focused on any one at a time. You got the three of them there. You're talking maybe 33 and a third percent or whatever it is on each goal, and you're spending a little time on one, maybe a little time on another, or maybe a little time on the other, or possibly maybe you're just spending a lot of time on one goal and the other two are just kind of falling by the wayside. So what Matt Fury recommends is, rather than having all the different goals, to do like what a magnifying glass does, and that is just to focus on one goal. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the science experiment, or maybe even done it yourself, but you probably know that, if you go out on a really sunny day and you go out with a magnifying glass and a piece of paper, if you hold it up, put the piece of paper on the ground and hold the magnifying glass, that you can actually work the beam of light from the sun. You can work it into a tiny wee spot, like a laser almost, and focus that laser point long enough on that piece of paper. After a couple of seconds or however long it takes, that you'll start to see smoke coming from the page, and then all of a sudden then the page will just erupt into flames. And that's what Matt Fury said you should do with your goal, is to focus on one kind of tiny specific goal that you can achieve and give it your 100% focus. And as Matt says, like, once that piece of paper, goes on fire, if it's left unattended, that piece of paper could spread to the grass, it could spread to your house, it could spread to the whole neighborhood, and you could burn down the whole neighborhood from that tiny little goal that you started off, that tiny little spot on that piece of paper that started the fire. And so it could be with your goals that you're achieving. So, for example, now you're probably wondering, well, how can I put that into my life? Now, I'll just tell you what I am doing at the moment. And at the moment, I am following Ben Settle's great advice of writing a daily email. And I find that is the one goal that I am focusing on this year, is to get better at writing a daily email. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how is that going to help me in, other parts of my life, rather than just being, at the end of the year, being good at writing a daily email? But I found that from, force myself and I have to sit down every day, every single day I have to come up with an idea. And I'm finding that, as I'm walking around, I'm getting more creative ideas coming to me, not just for emails, but maybe for fiction books, or maybe for video courses, or blog posts, or, even podcast episodes, all those, because my mind is now starting to be trained to focus and to come up with creative ideas for each of those emails. There's a spillover that I'm finding, I'm coming up with ideas for all those other things. Then there's also the fact that I'm not letting myself off the hook. I'm not letting myself go to bed without having written a daily email. And, by doing that, kind of focusing my mind, and, because I'm dedicated to it, I'm actually finding that, if I can't come up with a good excuse not to write a daily email, when it comes to me exercising, because, like, I know as I'm getting on, I'm in my 40s now, I'm putting on a few pounds, and I find it easier to put it on. And for a while there, I was just kind of maybe working on the business, but I was putting off maybe doing exercises, or, get an exercise bike, or going for a walk or something like that, because it was too much of a deal to do. I'd rather do something else. But I'm finding that when I do focus on, that daily email, and as I said, like, because I'm not letting myself off the hook, when it comes to me thinking, maybe I should exercise today, if I can't let myself off the hook for writing a daily email, it makes it a little bit harder then to kind of say, well, I won't exercise today, I'll leave it for tomorrow. Because, it's like, I don't know who it was had said it, I don't know if it was Jerry, the comedian Jerry Seinfeld. What he used to do was he used to write jokes, And the way he said he got better at jokes, now forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, if it wasn't Jerry Seinfeld, but I'm almost sure that it was. But basically what he used to do was he used to sit down every day and he used to write out jokes. And he used to get the calendar, he used to get a big red marker and write a big X on that date. And then slowly as the weeks were going through, those kind of X's were adding up one after the other and after the other. And he found that once he got a chain going, if you've got a chain going for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it's very disheartening just to stop it one day, to end that chain. And he found by having those red X's on that calendar, he didn't want to break that chain. He wanted to keep it going and going and going and going for as long as he could. And that's what I'm finding then too with having to turn up every day for the daily emails, because I am not letting myself off the hook for the daily emails. I'm not letting myself off the hook then with exercising and other things that I need to do. So it's kind of giving me it's making me more kind of accountable for what I should be doing and not kind of passing off my excuses. And another thing then too is, I know that the more I am writing these emails, the better a writer I'm going to be. The more ideas that I need to look for. So that means I have to go out and I have to start reading marketing books, or maybe have to read books on writing fiction, or, I'm finding that I'm reading more because I need more ideas coming in. And, before that, I would probably pick up the odd marketing book now and then. But because I have this specific goal of needing to come up with an idea every day, I'm paying more attention to what's going on around me. I'm paying more attention to what people are doing right, what people are doing wrong. And then I'm paying more attention to what experts who know far, far more than me are saying. And then I'm using their ideas and bringing them back into my emails. So whatever you're doing today at the moment, whatever goals you had at the start of the year, I'm sure like most of us, you probably have tossed them aside. And, it's probably because you are kind of spreading your energy out too wide. You're trying to go for 3 or 4 goals at once, rather than maybe just narrowing it down and, focus on one goal. And like the magnifying glass, give it 100%. Maybe if it comes to maybe just concentrating solely on losing weight, you may find that because you are 100% at that goal, you're showing up every day for exercising, it's going to probably spill over into your business. Like the opposite way for me with the emails and the exercise, it could go the other way for you. You may find that maybe you're going to show up more often for work. You may find that by focusing on that goal, you're becoming more fit, and maybe you want to be a better parent. And because you're exercising more, you're away from the TV more, maybe you're more interested in going for walks out in the countryside, and then all of a sudden you take your child with you, and you have these moments together while you're exercising. So you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and it's all from focusing on the one goal rather than trying to do 3 or 4 things at the same time. So if you find maybe your goals have fallen to the wayside, have a go at that and see what you think. And by staying and focus on the one goal, you can see where you're making progress, rather than maybe giving, as I said, maybe more power to one goal and the other 2 are losing it. But by focusing 100%, like that sunbeam, eventually you're going to, that paper is going to go on fire, and it's going to spread it into your other goals. Now, if you enjoyed this podcast, like it, and a lot more great content over on the WriteCome site.com. That's WriteCome.com. Now, if I made you think today, maybe I gave you an idea, or maybe you'd like to share this episode with somebody else, you'll probably find some social media buttons close by. And if you could just hit 1 or 2 and share the content, I would much, much appreciate it. So as always, thanks for sharing your time with me again today, and take care and have a great day. Bye bye.